If you're a man over 35 and waking up to the same stubborn love handles and you avoid taking your shirt off, this is for you. I coached over 300 busy professionals last year alone, and they all shared the same problem: love handles that wouldn't go away no matter how hard they tried. Most fitness coaches will tell you to follow a low-calorie diet, but you probably tried that, lost some weight, but ended up with a skinny fat body with the love handles still there. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why love handles are not a calorie problem, but a warning sign that your hormones are out of sync. Let's get into it. Have you ever cut calories and then you've lost some weight on the face, maybe the arms, maybe a little bit of a chest? When you look in the mirror, you still see that irritating love handle area of the back fat. And you get frustrated, of course, so you continue trying to be disciplined with your diet, you lower your calories even more, and then you might step on the scale and the scale is going a little bit down, but somehow in the mirror, you look softer. You get to the point where you feel like you're losing muscle rather than fat. That is the skinny fat trap. And I want to be clear, because this is not an age problem, it's not a calorie problem. Your body is actually trying to tell you something. Most men, they focus entirely on putting a lot of blood, sweat and tears, basically a lot of hours in the gym, a lot of discipline on low calorie diets, but nobody is telling you, or these men, what's really happening on the inside. Here's what's actually happening inside your body when you hop on a low-calorie diet. Your metabolism adapts. It adjusts to how you eat, to how you train, and even to deeper things inside your lifestyle, like stress, sleep, and travel. And here's the interesting part. When you cut calories, your metabolism adapts to match your intake. It's a survival mechanism that your body has been running on since we were hunters and gatherers. In fact, a landmark study published in the Journal of Obesity followed 14 contestants from The Biggest Loser 6 years after the show. Here's what the researchers found. The participants lost massive amount of weight during the show. Their resting metabolic rate dropped significantly, and 6 years later, their metabolism was significantly lower than compared to their body size. In many cases, participants were burning 500 to 600 calories less per day than what the scientists predicted for their weight. This is called metabolic adaptation, and it's exactly what's happening to you. When your body senses that you are in a prolonged period of a calorie deficit, it starts sending out like emergency signals to your metabolism. So your body actually starts holding on to reserves, aka these irritating love handles. They start holding on to fat, and even worse, they start breaking down muscle instead of using fat as energy for fuel. And the longer you stay in that calorie deficit, the worse it gets, the more stubborn your body becomes. And the more you continue to lower calories or restrict certain foods, you're just at a bigger risk of insulin resistance, lower testosterone, because you're not feeding your body right. And this is what leads to a metabolic crash. And it's also the same reason why every single low-calorie diet out there eventually will stop working. Here is something that I'm genuinely grateful for I learned very early on in my fitness journey. If you're someone who is skinny fat, you have a little bit like back fat or love handles, or you feel like you have to lose fat, but you also feel that you don't have enough muscle, it's just one of the most frustrating positions to be in. And that's okay. I've been there as well. When I first started working out, I wanted to get as jacked as possible. So I would eat lots of food and lots of calories to start bulking on size. I was literally chugging down these 1,000-calorie shakes every single night for like 90 days straight. I was struggling to get calories in. And what happened was I started bulking up and I started gaining a lot of fat, but also muscle. But then I realized I didn't like that look. It made me feel terrible. It made me feel crap, sluggish, mentally foggy. And this is what happens to most men who are above 20%. It starts affecting your inside as well. This includes your hormones. Anyways, that would lead me to go on a cut. And then I'll do this other extreme where I would cut down to super low calorie numbers like 1,500, 1,800 calorie diets, which was one, super extreme, not enjoyable, not sustainable, and literally crashed my hormones as well. And what happened is I lost a lot of muscle during that journey, and I ended up in the same place with a skinny fat look. How frustrating is that? And then again, I would go in a bulk because I wanted to build more muscle. It just became this evil loop where I never really found the sweet spot. And it was never something I truly deeply understood until I realized something that changed everything for me. I was scrolling through like fitness magazines, believe it or not, looking at great physiques and great bodies. And I always liked the celebrity body, like the Hollywood level physique. You know, like Brad Pitt from Fight Club, or Chris Hemsworth from Thor, or Daniel Craig from Casino Royale. There were so many great physiques out there. And do you know what I realized? The most attractive bodies are not bodybuilder bodies. It's not the big Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger bodies. It's the lean, healthy, athletic, fit bodies that just have nice muscle proportions in the right areas. A body that actually makes you look trained and athletic in clothes, not completely blowed up. And these are also the healthiest bodies. You're not your healthiest when you are extremely bulked up, and you're definitely not at your healthiest when you're extremely lean or depleted. Skinny fat is between, and it's just your body telling you that whatever approach you've been following is not the right approach. What you actually need is a body recomposition, which means losing fat and building muscle at the same time. I have not followed any extreme low-calorie diet or any extreme high-calorie bulking diet in over 8 years, and I've never looked and felt better. And my love handles have been gone for years. So what you need to understand is you need a body recomposition so that once you're losing fat and the love handles are going away, you have muscle that's also being packed on, so your metabolism is increasing. Your body's not in this survival mode. So if you lack muscle, you're far more prone to carrying those love handles. Now, some of you might also be a little bit on the heavier side, a little bit of a thicker build, but you also have belly fat and love handles. Well, it's the same problem. Your metabolism isn't working as it should. If you have higher body fat, above 20%, you have a higher BMI, you're at more risk for inflammation. And this all leads to more hormonal imbalances and insulin resistance. But what if I told you that you could lose fat faster by eating more? And that the answer was never really the diet that you've been forcing yourself through. Every diet you've tried has been calorie-based, and you've probably been quite disciplined with it. You lost some weight, did well, but you've been solving the wrong problem the entire time. Your metabolism doesn't get better when you cut calories, it gets worse. There will come a point in every low-calorie diet out there that one day your body stops responding. It's a plateau. That's where we all start blaming age, we start blaming certain foods, we start blaming our busy schedule, our kids, our travel, and you get really confused with why is nothing working. But you're not wrong, you just haven't reset your metabolism. So if cutting calories is making things worse, what is actually the fix to losing those love handles permanently and never getting them back? Here's what I've seen work consistently with the men I coach. Shorter eating window. This eating window that I'm about to show you right now is what makes a body recomposition possible. It's going to allow your insulin to stay low so you can burn fat. It's going to allow you to eat in a way where you get enough nutrients and fuel to build muscle. You're losing fat and building muscle at the same time. What has worked remarkably well for myself and my clients for over 8 years now is eating in a way that our body was designed to. And you can do that through something called intermittent fasting. Through biology and history, our bodies were designed to eat in shorter eating windows. We are not designed to digest food 24 hours a day. Back in the day, we were hunters and gatherers. We had to really hunt and work for our food. We could go days without food. That is how our bodies were built. We have definitely not been designed to handle the amount of sugar, processed food, and insulin spikes that today's foods creates. So what I recommend, which is something I do myself, is a 16 to 8 hour fasting. 16 hours fasted, an 8-hour eating window. This can be an example of you starting to eat at 1 p.m. and ending your eating at 9 p.m. When you fast for 16 hours, your insulin stays low. And that is when your body starts tapping into the fat stores. And the best part is that you don't need to track every single calorie, you just need to stop eating around the clock. And this is the part that nobody really talks about, is when you shorten your eating hour window, there's a lot less room for mistakes. You'll be a tad more hungry, and that's fair. But just like any nutrition plan, you just need some structure to make good food choices. And the beauty with intermittent fasting is that it's a healing diet. So the longer you're fasting, the more your inflammation goes down and your body starts becoming responsive. Have you ever seen the remarkable benefits of 3-day fasts? The amount of inflammation that goes down is incredible. In some of the busiest and hectic periods of my life, when I've gone to business trips to either Italy or Spain, intermittent fasting has been my anchor to keep me in check. It makes me feel confident of not going overboard. And I see the exact same thing with my clients is for those who travel a lot or have very busy schedules, intermittent fasting works so well with their lifestyle. You stop stressing about food all the day, you just become a little bit more intentional with the meals you eat. And that's just 100 times better than obsessing over calories the moment you wake up. And if you're someone who likes pizza or wine or good food at restaurants, well, intermittent fasting definitely can be something for you, because when you are fasting and you do eat a little bit more of the heavier, more processed foods, well, your body actually responds better to that during that eating window because your body's less in that inflamed survival state. The problem with most diets is that they are calorie based. That's the first thing any coach will tell you. Cut the calories, hit it every day, follow this meal plan, eat these specific foods at this specific time. There's just so much going on. And there's nothing wrong with understanding calories, but here's why you're still stuck. Most diets for me have just felt like complete war mode. You go to war for 12 weeks and then you're just counting down days until it's all over because it's simply not sustainable. Nobody follows a diet for the rest of their life. They follow it for a specific period and then it ends. And after those 12 weeks, most men might have seen some progress like yourself, but then the love handles, we're still there. So you think that you need to continue with the same approach, maybe we'll even try cutting calories even further, and this is why so many men are just ending up with a metabolic crash. The confusion is that you've been entirely focused on calories when the real problem is your hormones and your metabolism. Now that you understand why low-calorie diets are not the solution and how shorter eating windows can be very beneficial for you, there's one final thing, a mistake that most men don't even know they have, and it's a big reason to why most men still have their love handles. Snacking, and especially snacking on sugar, is the hidden blocker causing havoc on your love handles. Most men don't even know this is happening because snacking is kind of an unconscious habit. Every time you eat, your body triggers a hormonal response. Blood sugar rises and insulin is released to transport those nutrients into your cells. Now, certain foods cause different responses. High fat, high protein food like salmon, chicken, beef spike insulin far less. The less processed the food, the lower the spike. But then there are foods completely on the other end of the spectrum. And these foods are not just high in calories, they cause inflammation. And the food industry is a little bit messed up right now, which is causing men unconsciously, if you don't have a third eye or an awareness, to eat foods that are causing inflammation every day, disrupting hormones and your metabolism. Do that 3 to 4 times a day, then you're literally walking around in fat storage mode regardless of the calories. Before I went deep on this, I was eating foods that was marketed as healthy. But what I didn't know was when I turned on the label, there were ingredients that I couldn't even pronounce. Hidden sugars, hidden seed oils, which has led me to this saying: if you can't read it, don't eat it. I drank granola with maltodextrin and high fructose corn syrup. I ate flavored yogurt with carrageenan and modified starch. I ate roasted cashews smothered in sunflower or canola oil. I ate protein bars with soy protein isolate, glucose syrup, and artificial sweeteners. Every single one of these was spiking my insulin throughout the day. Maltodextrin is a highly processed carbohydrate and it has one of the highest glycemic indexes of 110 compared to sugar at 65. Just a simple way of saying it spikes your blood sugar a lot. Ever heard about type 2 diabetes being caused by lifestyle, food, not exercising? Well, when insulin is chronically elevated, it's literally biologically impossible almost to lose fat. That is not my opinion, that is biology. I've actually recorded a private video training for my email list that goes deeper into exactly how visceral fat and inflammation keeps you stuck with belly fat. If you want to check it out, it's a good one. You can click the link below in the description. If you struggle with strong sugar cravings or just nighttime cravings in general, you need to understand that it's not a discipline problem. No matter how disciplined you are, you'll always lose the battle against your hormones. An example is, have you ever had a terrible nights of sleep? No matter how much you try, the next day, your hormones are gonna win. You can try drinking coffee, which I've done plenty of times, and that only works for an hour or two. So if you're dealing with some serious sugar cravings for muffins, or you like just eating pizza and stuff at night, well, your hormones have adjusted over time. And there is no diet that will fix this if you keep feeding it every single hour. I was a snack maniac before I understood this. And the more I snacked, the worse it got. More cravings, and it felt like I lost complete control. But it wasn't about control, it was about hormones. Constant snacking means that your metabolism never gets to rest. It never gets to do the work it should. Your body is always digesting, processing, storing, never burning fat. Now, if you're someone who snacks out of convenience, I get it. Like you just want something easy, something quick, just something to fill you up. Well, the principle still remains. What type of food are you snacking on? So instead of going for a processed protein bar, a great option could be a Greek yogurt bowl. Just add some fibrous fruit in there, add a sprinkle of honey, and believe it or not, has a massive difference. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that honey had a lower glycemic index than processed sugar. That is the difference between processed food and natural food. So to bring this all together, you now understand why low-calorie diets don't work. And you understand why skinny fat is not a calorie problem. It's a metabolism and hormone problem. You understand how shortening your eating window gives you more stability and structure in your nutrition. And you understand why snacking is quietly making this a lot more difficult than it should be. All these 3 points are tied to the same thing. The skinny fat trap, the eating window, the snacking, they're all connected to one thing: a metabolic crash. And the fix is a metabolic reset. Not a diet to lose fat, not a workout to build muscle, a system to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. A body recomposition that gets your metabolism working again. That is when the love handles go. That is when men start looking and feeling like themselves again. And that is when it actually stays that way. This is exactly what I help men achieve through a simple 3-step system on how to eat, train, and live your life to make a body recomposition possible after 35. Built specifically for men with busy, demanding lives. Everything I share today is just one piece of it. I recorded a short video that walks you through all 3 steps in full that helped over 300 busy men last year get leaner, more muscular, and more energetic bodies without a single crash diet. Link is in the description. Go watch it.